Joseph is with us. Joseph is in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Joseph. How are you?
Hey, Dave. I'm doing very well.
Good. What's up?
Love the show. I've been listening to your podcast for the last several months. Wanted to ask your thoughts about making the decision. My wife and I'm currently working. She's been a stay-at-home mom for the last 5.5 years. And her former boss reached out to her to ask if she would be interested in coming back to work. And we have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. So the boys are getting ready to start preschool and kindergarten. And so the timing of it seems like it might make sense, but I was interested in what your thoughts were as far as making the decision to go from staying at home to, two working parents.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Lots of working parents are great parents. It doesn't require you stay home to be a good mom. But there's also nothing wrong with deciding I want to stay home and spend my time on my kids. So there's, people get judged for either one. I can tell you that. But not here.
Right.
I'm going to support you either way, whatever you decide to do. What I wouldn't, so I'm not going to throw a blanket on this and go, oh, well, she must go back to work, or oh, no, she can't go back to work. I would never do that. That's not the thing. The question is, how much are they going to pay her?
A lot more than me.
How much?
115,000.
Okay, pretty tempting then, huh?
Yeah.
Is it tempting to her?
The biggest. Yes. I mean, we're both excited at the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We're baby step 2 right now, so we would be able to become debt-free very quickly, like by the end of next year.
And the trade-off is what?
What's
the trade-off? What's the loss?
Time with our kids, having to hire, a nanny or daycare to take care of them. That's the primary things.
Okay. Well, the 2-year-old from 2 to 5, you're never going to get those years back. But there's certainly nothing wrong with, again, having daycare, having a nanny, having after-school care, whatever the process is. People do it every day, and it's not immoral. It's not wrong. You're not a bad parent. But you just got to decide, okay, what kind of boundaries can I put on this? I mean, this guy's wanting to work 40 hours, not 80, right?
Yes, correct.
That's a boundary, number one. Then I don't know, maybe there's some flexibility around school time about when she shows up or when she doesn't show up at the office, right?
Yeah, especially now they're work from home, I think 50% of the time. So,
well, that's a big deal. Is she going to be at home 50% of the time?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we're only talking about 2.5 days or 2 days a week of problem then, right?
Right.
Who watches the kid at home while she's working? Nanny?
Yeah, we don't know that yet. We would have to find somebody.
Well, I think what you got, if Sharon and I are doing this decision, we have to put down exactly how this is going to go down and then look at that and say, we're trading that for $115,000. That's a trade. Is it a good trade? Right. And if it's a good trade, we'll do the trade. And lots of people look up and they go, the trade is not worth it. My wife desperately wants to be at home full time with the kids and not work, and there's not really any amount of money that you can put on the other side of that scale that makes it tip. And so then they choose to stay home, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with going, dadgum, this is quite honoring. An old boss from 5 years ago calls up and offers us the Brinks truck. That's honoring to her. It says a lot about who she is, right?
Absolutely.
Which is that's a nice compliment, and it makes it really tempting as well because they obviously have huge respect for her. So, good stuff. Good stuff. There's not a right or wrong answer, brother, but I would get down and say our life is currently X. If we do this, exactly what does our life look like change? Exactly what are we going to do? Exactly how are we going to handle it? Then you know the trade you're making. Because you're trading $115,000 for whatever stress or absenteeism or time away from the kids you're putting on the table. And if it's minimal away from the kids, it's really tempting to look at. Really tempting.